You know, boys, we gotta get out of here so we can watch the gold medal, you know.
That's right.
Fucking right, boys. Fucking right. Let's
You
go
gotta
for a
watch
rip.
them good Canadian gals.
We gotta go for a rip.
Just give her.
A little slap shot. I go to the penalty box for 2 minutes and I feel shame.
I feel shame.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Paul, and this is Press X the podcast. Alongside me, I've got Trevor and Sean. Say hello, boys.
Hello, hello.
Hello, boys.
Wow,
Yeah.
you actually didn't go over each other.
I did it though. I did the bad joke.
Yeah, well, we can expect you to take the low-hanging fruit, I think.
I don't know what to say about that right now. I'm assuming you mean it with some sort of innuendo and not just low-hanging fruit, the joke, but whatever. Fuck you.
I mean, take it however you want.
So, Paul, are you going to explain to the listeners how this is the pod of shame?
This is indeed the pod of shame.
Episode 7.
There's your
Pod of
low-hanging
shame.
fruit right there.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Dear listeners, this is episode 7 Bravo, because our local files exploded in a haze of blood and gore, and now we're back again trying to record the cast once more with fresh new content.
Well, we can blame we use Audacity for our local stuff, but we also use Discord and we use Craig, the bot, and Craig didn't do his job last time, obviously. So, I mean, I guess if we're going to blame anybody, we can squarely put the blame on Craig.
We could blame
Fuck
Craig.
that bear. Fucking Craig.
But
Did
look
we
at that.
decide he's a bear?
I don't know. Did we decide if he was a bear or a beaver?
Kind of looks like a beaver, but just missing the teeth.
Yeah, so that makes him look like a bear.
Yeah, I could go with the bear.
You know what? I'm going to solve this once and for all. Discord Craigbot.
Bear or beaver?
Yeah. There's no answers.
No.
Oh, this is
Dear God, it's going to be a mystery for the rest of our lives.
bear or beaver. Yeah, no, they're not telling me nothing.
Damn it.
I say he's a bear.
I'm going to go with beaver.
All right. You would.
Well, in any case, we're going to be a day late getting this up, but we will definitely not be $1 short.
That's right. We can still be entertaining a second go around, right?
Right, we won't let a glitch get in the way. We're just
No.
back at it.
We're entertainers at heart. We
Right.
live for this shit.
In actuality, it's probably better to record right now because I've actually played more games than I had before.
Me too.
Ooh. Not me.
Well, Trev, why don't you just give us your spiel that you already practiced once about the game that you played?
Oh, yeah. Fee, an EA original. Yes, I played Fee. And it's good. It's good. I enjoyed it. It's how do I describe it? It's a platformer. You play as this cute gremlin type beast. Probably gonna get some hate mail for that. He's probably has a specific name, but I have no idea what his name is. But I'm wandering around this world. I sing to animals. I sing to the environments. It's all about collecting puzzles and moving on to the next level. It's a gorgeous world, and yeah, I play as this cute, cuddly creature, and it's pretty, and it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it.
I'm interested in that one. Just the visuals of it alone have me interested. But obviously, we have spoken about this before. But I just couldn't figure out what the gameplay loop was. I looked at it and I said, yeah, that's neat, but what am I doing? And nothing in the trailer or the debut or whatever really kind of explained that. But I remember the pop from the crowd when it was I believe the first time we saw it was at E3, wasn't it? At the Xbox media event. Or
Yeah, it might have been.
I believe
think
it.
so.
Yeah, I think it was. I think what really makes it innovative is the whole singing mechanic, which it's sort of like this weird sort of grumbly growl. It's not quite singing. It's like a like it's this really
So it sounds like Scooby-Doo.
yeah, that sounds like I'm having like a problems.
Old Man Jenkins.
It sounds like I'm having problems on the toilet is what that sounds like. So
I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you damn kids.
But anyway, so you sing to different like environments and it gives you different mechanics. Like you sing to this like flower and it launches you in the air, and same with this beast. You can sing to like this deer and this deer will attack other monsters for you. So I think that's what's sort of the innovation behind it, and what I find one of the most compelling thing is this sort of singing feature. And yeah, and it's a beautiful game. Like it's gorgeous, and I'm a good 8 to 10 hours in. I'm probably not even halfway. I know there's people burning through it in about 6 hours or so, which good on them. I don't know how they're doing it.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't agree. Like, you go good on them. I just don't understand that idea of rushing through a game just to finish it, just to say that you beat it before somebody else. Like the Assassin's Creed New Game Plus there came out, and some guy like literally burned through the entire campaign again in 10 hours to get like the special reward or whatever. I mean, I guess technically, with it being New Game Plus, you already played the game. But to still manage to get all the way through the campaign in 10 hours? Man, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
You're probably just slaughtering the peons, though, at that point, right? With the New Game Plus, you're probably just slicing and dicing through the game.
Well, I would imagine it scales.
Does it?
Yeah, of course it did. Like, you're not going to hop in there at level 40... Or whatever, and then have the enemies be at like level 1 again. That just seems silly. I mean, I'm not in New Game Plus, but I would just to make that assumption, right? So it's not necessarily that it's easy. It's basically that this guy woke up in the morning, called in sick to work, and sat his ass down, or I mean, we're assuming that this person has a job.
Yeah. Well, hey, whatever floats your boat. I myself, and I think it sounds like the three of us are this way, we like to sort of plod our way through these games. We like to look for collectibles, get the achievements, the trophies. Like, I like to take my time. I like to really soak it in.
Yeah.
My wife won't watch me play video games because I play so slow. Yeah. I'm too methodical, and she's like, will you fucking move on? Will you go to another room? I'm like, I'm not done yet.
It's probably why we don't finish a lot of games.
Yeah, I'm horrible for that. I have like my list of games that I've gotten just so goddamn close, but just kind of gave up and moved on. It's atrocious. It's so bad. So bad.
Yeah, but like where you gotta be? You paid for the thing. Why don't you see what it has to offer at least?
Like at the end, you mean? Like finish the game, you're saying?
Not necessarily getting to the end of the game. I don't really care about finishing games in most cases, unless I'm reviewing it. If it loses my attention, it loses my attention. But
yeah, I don't exactly. I'm with you on that. Like I don't stress out over it. The ones that I tend to finish now are always those games that don't expect you to put in 100 hours. I mean, Assassin's Creed Origins being like the anomaly in this one, and that I've actually finished it through and gone on to the DLC. That is so rare for me. Games like Life is Strange, where it's bite-sized and it's a compelling narrative, that's easy because I can sit down and play an episode an hour and a half or two and wait for the next one and move on, right? So it's more bite-sized, type games that I'm seeing now that I'm finishing, or seeing all the way through. But I think it just comes in, it basically boils down to time. I mean, I don't know how much time you guys have to play video games, but, probably for all three of us, that time really isn't all that much anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hear you chuckling in the background.
I got tons of time.
I hear you chuckling in the back, and it's just like, I'm just waiting for once upon a time, I had time to play video games. Some fucker decided to leave me high and dry.
When I had a partner on the side, I had more time.
I'll take your tongue lashing.
Watcha!
I'm owed for at least a couple more months, I'm sure. I'm going to hear about it, and probably deservedly so.
Trev, what are you playing Fee, Fa, Fe, Fo, Fum on?
The Switch. I'm playing it on the Switch.
Where else would you want to play this one? I mean, It's,
Well, I know
it's built for it, really.
Yeah.
It just seems like the place that you would naturally want to play it.
I find myself thinking that all the time. If I can, I probably want to play it on the Switch.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not like enough of like a performance slash like graphics whore about it, in that like, oh well, it will perform better on an Xbox or perform better on a PlayStation. It kind of is just a given, on a game that's like fully multiplat. But it's not about that. Like I'm okay with playing it in 720 on the portable screen, So yeah, it's not performance. It's literally all about convenience. Got a flight to catch. I'll play it on my, bring my Switch.
Exactly. Well, I know Alex reviewed it on the PS4 and he loves it. I mean, he scored it a 91 on COGconnected.com. That's COGconnected on Twitter, COGconnected on Facebook, COGconnected on the Insta. I'm a company man.
Boom.
But no, he reviewed it on the PS4 and he loves it, and he enjoyed getting the achievements, and he's probably one of the higher scores on Metacritic. And yeah, he kind of sold me. I read his review while I was dialogue with him back and forth as he was playing, and he kind of sold me on the game. And yeah, it was.
I was gonna say, was the dialogue the usual? Alex, are you sure you want to score it that high? Alex, are you sure?
No, he was speaking to me in the Beast voice. He was like, rah, 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 rah. And then I respond back.
And naturally, so beast to beast, you understood.
Yes, exactly. Beast mode.
What about you, Sean? What'd you play?
Well, I played Injustice 2, only for diving into Ninja Turtles because they're really awesome. I love the interpretation of them. They're not the awful ones that we talked about last week. They're not the horrible reimagining.
Style, right?
What's that?
They're the comic book style, right?
No, they're more so kind of like the movie style. If anything.
All right.
If anything. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of neat. Like I didn't know before before you actually had access to them, how you would play. Like I was kind of like, well, how are they putting in all 4 turtles? Basically what it is you play as Leonardo, but all your moves and then your special as well incorporate the other characters, like jumping in. It's like having a second come in like Marvel versus Capcom or something, like how you get the second to come in and do like the quick attack and then they're gone off screen, that sort of thing. I don't know if I was maybe a bit disappointed because I kind of wanted to just see how each one played. But I mean, that would be almost a DLC on its own. I mean, this one was part of, was it like Fighter Pack 3, I believe. So, I mean, it probably, like say, I mean, if you have 4 distinct characters, all with their own move sets, that probably would have been, it's like almost a standalone DLC. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. Injustice 2 is such a badass game. It's the most approachable, one of the most approachable fighters that literally the pros can master, but the freaking shitlords like me who really suck at it can still have fun. Like I'm not skilled at fighting games.
Oh, but it looks so good. And I really love, like, with the turtles, when I haven't played it, but I saw in one of the trailers that one of the turtles grabs their skateboard and whips it out and smacks the other guy in the head, and just the whole mechanic looks so cool.
You should know which turtle skateboards.
No, I don't. I don't follow.
Oh my!
Good God, Trevor!
Your nerd cred is just diminishing episode by episode.
I'll give you a hint.
I mean, I watched the movies way back when. That's about it.
Okay, so there you go. Pop quiz. What's your favorite Ninja Turtle movie?
Okay, well, I'm gonna.
Ninja Turtle or Ninja Turtles movie?
No, the Ninja Turtles of the movies. There's only one answer to this question, but what's your favorite?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Paul. Tag your man, Paul. You're in. What's your favorite Ninja Turtles movie?
Trev's got to sweat on this one. He's got to sweat it out.
I can't see him, but I just pictured the sweat rolling off the dome right now. He's grabbing a towel, patting down the forehead.
Yeah, I don't know. Like just the basic one when they were like, it wasn't animated or anything like that. It was Fuck, it's older than hell.
So the
it's
first
got to be at least
Is it
20
the
years old.
1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Trevor?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
The first one.
That is
first one.
absolutely
That's the
probably
correct
one
answer.
of the best movies of all time.
Yeah,
That's
I like
the correct
that one.
answer. Yeah, that is 100% the correct answer.
All right, good. Whew.
I don't know what it is about that movie because, I mean, you watch it now so many years later and you can definitely see the cheese factor, but there's parts about it, like there's that one part where you've got the city in the backdrop and you see the kid running like through the field, like silhouetted and climbing the fence to go into where the Foot Clan is situated, like their headquarters or whatever.
Mhm.
I can watch that now at 40 and that scene comes on and I get goosebumps. There's something about it. I'm like, that movie stands the test of time for like every nerd who ever watched it when it first came out.
Yeah, man.
It's so good.
It's artsy as hell, and it's got a lot of heart behind it, too. I mean, there's a real message there.
What's the message, Paul?
It's that you got to trust your brothers.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. I'm
Yeah.
not going to argue with that. I respect that take.
I mean, there are lots of other takes. Like, you should say, like, beach dude phrases whenever possible.
Like cowabunga,
Cowabunga.
Yeah, there it is.
Radical.
tubular.
Gnarly.
Gnarly. Gnarly was a good one. I actually asked, I was on Twitter and I asked if the kids still said rad. And I had a bunch of people my age, like in their late 30s and 40s, responding to me going, oh, the kids definitely still say rad. And I'm like, you're 40. What the fuck do you know what the kids say? And,
This kid says rad.
well, my kid informed me that nobody, in fact, still says rad. So I know
That hurts me.
It kind of stung. It stung, but whatever. I say we just bring it back. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
let's make more of an effort.
Gnarly
We'll just
and
start
tubular.
using it. Yep, done.
You know what else I played?
That idea is rad.
You know what else I played? And I'm gonna make sure that like pure disclosure, this isn't a game that I'm working on, but one of the guys on the team is representing this game, but I've actually just got my hands on it for the first time because it did come out on console, was Rad Rogers. It is so freaking fun. It looks fantastic. I mean, it's a beautiful game, but it's literally, if you grew up ever playing like the games like Jazz, Jackrabbit, Commander Keen, like those style of platformers, it's not very forgiving. It's super beauty. And it's not, well, they have an option. I believe you can choose to play it for kids. But you really don't want to play it. You want to turn it on to like the adults option because it's super dirty. It's so dirty and like super funny. So I would highly recommend to anybody who like digs old school platformers to at least to take a look at it, because I'm having a shit ton of fun with it already. And I've only maybe played it for like an hour and a half. Maybe up to maybe 2 hours, but it's really fucking cool. Came out like a year ago, I think, but it just kind of came out on console.
Yeah, the style is wacky. It's like a kind of weird combo of pixel art and polygonal 3D stuff.
Well,
cool.
you kind of like cross over back and forth. Like kind of the premise behind the game, it kind of opens up with like this comic book style, like where you're going panel to panel, explaining, this kid and how he basically drops into, from the real world into the video game world, and his console, which is basically like it's like an N64 or whatever, kind of comes to life as his like trusty companion, his backpack almost. And so the character plays through these gorgeous, like I say, Pixar animated level. No, it's not that good, but it looks good. Really colorful platforming jungle sections and stuff like that. But then the console, you have to switch into what they call what was it? The Pixelverse. That's right. They call it the Pixelverse. So you transfer into the Pixelverse, and then the console, this sentient console, Dusty or whatever, has a bunch of things that he does that affect the real world. So you have to kind of navigate through two separate worlds to kind of push the journey forward. And I mean, it's just your standard, if you remember, those platforming games of old where, you finish the level, but you're not done. There's this collectible you're missing. You got to get all the jewels, all that. It has all the right things that's going to make you go back to levels and master them, or I mean, I would imagine even come back with different abilities. I don't know if you acquire abilities. I haven't gotten far enough, but you know, there's platforms that you just can't quite reach just yet, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's not very forgiving, I'll tell you that much. I mean, I played it on normal, where it's like you have a number of lives, and you know, if you die, you're starting over, that sort of thing. And we're so babied now, you know, when it comes to game. It's like, you know, unlimited lives, you know, there's no real sense of loss. That's when you lose, you're like, fuck. Back to the drawing board.
You know, I played something that doesn't baby you either.
What's that,
what could
Paul?
that be?
That's Metal Gear Survive.
I heard something about Metal Gear Survive today, in that it tells you that the battlefield is no place for love.
Well, that's the Metal Gear series in general, originating in Metal Gear Solid, where you discover, in fact, if love can bloom on a battlefield.
Wait, does this Metal Gear bring back David Hayter? Does David Hayter come back?
Well,
nope.
I have not heard David Hayter as of yet. But the first thing you got to know about this game is it is not a Metal Gear Solid game. Espionage, stealth action, not so much.
So okay. I mean, let's just kind of like approach it from the way that a lot of people have really looked at it. Is Konami just leeching the Metal Gear name to use the Metal Gear name? Or is it, like, can you still call it a Metal Gear game?
Well, it occurs in the same universe, so in that sense, yes, it's a Metal Gear game, but it's definitely a side story. It's branching out from that main, the Patriots and all that stuff that's in the main Solid series, and it takes you to a different dimension, quite literally. Yeah, it's a hardcore survival game.
That just seems so crazy to me, in that, you know, I mean, and I don't know. I mean, I don't buy into the conspiracy, or not the conspiracy, but the drama of it all. You know, like, I get Kojima fans are all pissed off and everything else, but I even when that all dropped, I kind of went, you know, well, but if it's a Metal Gear game, it's a Metal Gear game. But even, you know, just kind of from what you're saying, I mean, and this is coming from the outside. I mean, obviously I haven't played it, but if it's not really, like, it occurs in the same universe, I mean, you could do that with almost anything. That seems like such a cheap way to still use the name without it actually being a Metal Gear game.
Yeah, you could, but they've stepped out from the core of the franchise before with Metal Gear Rising, which was a Platinum developed game.
Revengeance. Right?
Yeah, Revengeance.
That's right.
So this one, at its core, it's the same engine as the Phantom Pain, but gameplay-wise, it's a little closer to something like DayZ, where it gets pretty oppressive as you move through the game. It's hard to get water. It's hard to get food at times. You will die because you starve to death.
We'll talk about polar opposites, like,
yeah,
you know, comparing it to DayZ. Like, that's not a Metal Gear game. That's so weird.
It's friggin' weird. But I kind of like it so far, and I'm enjoying what I'm playing. It has a pretty neat base building aspect, so I'm not sure where that's going exactly. But so far, so good on Metal Gear Survive.
Oh, that's encouraging.
And, you know, I mean, and we've talked about this before. I mean, controversy aside, whatever that controversy might be in any game, you know, even if they are using the name and possibly not really appropriately, if the game is still good, the game is still good, and let it stand on its own. Don't let that cloud your judgment. I would say that there's probably a great many lesser reviewers, maybe people who are a little less experienced, you know, who might let that cloud their judgment, which I never agree with. You know, controversy outside of a game has nothing to do with the game. So if it stands on its own and it's still a good game, I mean, you're obviously seeing it in that manner. I would imagine a lot of people are not going to do the same thing.
You have to chuck your expectations out the window with this one. I fully expect to see a bunch of reviews that are giving it lower scores based on the Metal Gear name. And honestly, I think maybe they should have gone away from the Metal Gear name and just made this some weird survival game. But that remains to be seen. The story's been generic so far, but I could see it going down some weird paths later on.
And there haven't been many scores yet, have there? Just because of the game wasn't really available until Tuesday.
A couple days ago, yeah.
So yeah,
Yep.
so I mean, we're still a little ways out from actual reviews because I haven't seen anything online yet.
Yep.
Yeah, it's mostly reviews in progress so far.
Yeah, we had the code mid last week, but at the end of the email it said, yeah, but the servers won't be on until the game drops. So I guess download it in advance a week early here, but yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they supplied it that early. I mean, I know that the conspiracy theorists like to come out in full force now. Bethesda kind of, with their whole thing where they weren't giving out review copies until the day of release and stuff. People viewed it as this whole, oh, that means the game's shit. It's just kind of weird how those assumptions happen, I guess, they did. But I wouldn't be surprised if more and more, I mean, I don't know if it's leaks or people like screwing up on embargo and not giving a shit, that sort of stuff, but we are seeing more of that where we're not actually getting access to a game until, basically in a sense in that the review will not be live before or at the time when the game is available for sale. Like they want to get the sales in before the first review drops.
Yeah.
Let's get it in before everybody says it's shit.
The reviews in progress have not been flattering so far. I do know that.
That's interesting. And yeah. I'll be interested to kind of see why. Like I say, is it the game or is it because of the name?
Yep. We'll see where it goes, but with my 5 or 6 hours in so far, I can say that it's not broken and it's not horrible. Whether it's good remains to be seen.
Not horrible is always good.
Oh, and we've seen our fair share of horrible, Trev.
Yes, we have.
I think we've all seen our fair share of awful games. I know I've reviewed a couple of real fucking stinkers. Like I can't remember now because I blocked them out of my brain. Like that time my uncle touched me when I was 3.
No,
but you know what I mean. Like
just kidding,
game,
not kidding.
You scored it. Yeah, joking, not joking. This is a cry for help. Wow. No, like when you score a game like a 20 and people want to ask you about what's so bad about it and you're like, I don't even want to talk about it. It's that bad. Yeah, everything. I think I scored a game of 10 once.
You're like, guys, it barely functions.
And that's what it was. Like you couldn't even maneuver. It was one of the Double Dragon games that they ended up pulling it off. I can't remember which one, but they pulled it off the Xbox Marketplace. It was so fucking bad. It was horrible. It was literally like, and I always hate talking about games like this because you know that there's a developer behind it who's like, I worked hard on that. And it's like, really? Because it looks to me like you literally took a shit on a keyboard and called it a video game. Like it was that bad. But, moving on.
Anyways, why don't we talk about some games that don't suck dog shit in the news?
The news.
I
I can't believe it. I almost stole Trevor's thunder on that one.
Yeah, like it's the one thing I get to look forward to. Like, what the hell?
Well, no, you also get to play the company man routine.
Yes, that's right.
I'm thinking we need to turn that into a soundbite so like that Paul can just drop it in, like whenever he feels like it. Just drop in Trevor's like company man soundbite because I'm a company man.
Yeah,
with a real commercial like voice. I can.
We'll have to hold a separate recording session for that one.
Shameless promo.
Well, guys, Burnout Paradise is coming back.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That game is so much fun.
It's awesome.
It really is. I actually, because it's available via backward compatibility on Xbox One, and I put it in and I was still having fun with it, but I'll be the first to admit that the graphics just felt cloudy. You know, I mean, they obviously they didn't really stand the test of time, as it were. But the video that they showed for this remastered version, and I mean, it's going to be available for the Pro and for the one in 4K.
Pretty quick too.
Yeah, March 16th, I think. And it looks good.
Like there's zero lead up. Like that's coming out right away, which is fantastic.
And they've already said it includes all the 8 DLCs minus it doesn't include any of the back when EA did the I can't remember what they called them, the time savers, which I always hated. They had the time saver DLC, which you could pay to get further ahead, basically. But yeah, there's all eight DLCs. They haven't touched like all the original licensing for the soundtrack. What was the DJ? Was it Atomica? Was it DJ Atomica?
Man, I can't remember. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. I know I'm asking to dig deep in the archives, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to look this up. Burnout. I'm pretty sure DJ. It was Atomica. DJ Atomica, because I know my shit. Everything about that game was super fun, but just seeing that trailer with that 4K shine on it, I mean, I'm like, Alex Everett, he's my favorite cheapskate. He's gonna be like, I'm waiting for EA access, and I don't blame him. You got to get something for your $20 a year, but I have zero willpower. A lot of games I'm totally willing. I'm with him though. I'm poking fun. I'm with him. Like, there's a lot of EA games, especially, that I wouldn't go out of my way to purchase at all. And I'll be like, yeah, I'll wait for it to hit access. I gotta get something for my sub fee. But this game, I don't think I'm gonna wait 6 months. I just want to play it now.
Well, are you even waiting 6 months? I find that the games are hitting EA access earlier and earlier.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think when Battlefield 1 hit, I'm pretty sure it was like 8 months. So yeah,
it was quite a bit after. For sure.
But still, in the whole scheme of things, it's not like there's nothing that'll entertain you in the meantime.
Totally.
I mean, and that's why, like, I'm poking fun, but I honestly, I don't blame Alex, because you're getting the best bang for your buck with EA access if you can wait. I mean, it's not like you have other, you don't have other games that you can play, and it's like I say, I think in Canada it's $30 a year. In the States, it's $20 a year. It's a joke. It's so cheap. That's so cheap. And
good value.
Yeah, you get 3 to 4, like, depending on what their release schedule is, but you get 3 to 4 AAA games. I mean, I'm using AAA loosely, with how some of their games have performed. I mean, I want to play Need for Speed Payback, for example, but I wouldn't pay $5 for that thing, right? So, but I'll play it on EA Access, though. I'll play it on there.
Aren't all these sports games from last year already on there? Like Madden's already on there, NHL.
They just updated, with last year's Madden and NBA, but NBA Live 18 is already on there. Yeah.
That's pretty good. It is good value for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, it's the other games too. It's like Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 is on there. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
That's great, right? And I mean, when you break that down to your $2 to $3 a month, or I mean, whatever it ends up being, less than that. It's like $1.50, $1.75 a month. That's nothing. That's nothing.
You guys want to hear the best thing about this Burnout release?
What's that?
No micros.
Exactly.
Oh, hey.
None.
I mean, but what would they put in there, though? I mean, the game is the game. At this point, what would they put in for micros?
Never
unless they
tempt
added
EA
content.
and ask them what they could put a microtransaction on.
Yeah,
Fancy
I'm
paint.
I'm not
paint.
issuing a challenge.
And don't you dare.
No.
Don't you dare think about it.
Don't you fuck this up for us, Sean.
Speaking of fucking up, Sony banned a really, really old PSN account.
Yeah. I want to feel bad for this kid, or I think at this point, young man, he's probably, we don't know how old he is. He's got to be in his 20s, but
it was created at age 12.
Yeah,
he created it when he was
20
12.
now.
And what was that name though?
I mean, exactly. Let me be the first to throw this out there. His name, his PSN ID was King Motherfucker.
King Motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
I have no problem with that name, for the record. Like, no problem at all. that would make me chuckle if I saw that in the lobby.
I always love those stealth names that that they're pulling one over on them for sure, right? Like, it's funny, But in the same respect, I guess, I mean, their rules are their rules. I mean, I feel bad for this dude. If anything, how about Sony just gets their shit together and allows somebody to change their ID? Because this
Right.
guy's losing all the games that he's bought, his entire track record for the past 8 years. So yeah, he's 20. He's 20 now. So, I mean, you can't hold it against a 12-year-old, you know, who's
Right.
giggling with all his buddies like, I'm gonna name myself King Motherfucker. Right? And I'm getting past all the filters and everything else. He goes, I admit that it's a stupid username, but I created it when I was only 12. It's not a stupid username. It's funny. You game the system, dude. Right?
Yeah, right. It'd be completely different if he was like King Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Completely different.
That might not make it past the censor.
But I mean,
The algorithm might pick that one up.
how ridiculous is it, though, that at this time that Sony still hasn't figured out their shit to let somebody just change a username?
Right.
Why should this guy have to lose his entire account?
From what
Couldn't you
I've heard, there's a really, really deeply technical reason for why this is, and it has to do with how they built PS3 and how the PS3 PSN system worked, and getting it to talk to the PS4 is extremely tricky.
It just seems like such a scapegoat excuse when it really boils down to a name change.
Mm-hmm.
It's like renaming a file. Like, it shouldn't be that hard.
It
I mean,
should be easy.
they've been promising it for years, or at least like hinting at it for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of, you know, like the joke amongst most people within the PlayStation community is that, you know, it's the closest thing that you're going to get on PSN to vaporware. It's just not going to happen. You know, oh, it's going to come. Nah, no, it's not. Right? I feel bad for the kid. Like I say, I mean, not only is he losing his track record, but the fact that he paid real money. I mean, who knows how much digital content he has that he's got to go back on now and pay for a second time if he wants it. That's not right.
You know what is coming, albeit in a slightly delayed fashion? Twitch's new controversial streaming guidelines.
Oh, yeah. It's controversial because they expect people to be decent.
No boobs. No more boobs.
You know,
No more booby streamers.
that's right.
No
And you know
more
what, though? Like,
booby
we
streamers.
did touch on this. I mean, but I still feel that we touched on this when we recorded the last time. But I feel that this is still something, like, worth talking about, though. Like, something that definitely needs to be said. And because a lot of people are really up in arms. I see two things with this. The fact that people are up in arms, I mean, because it's not just booby streamer stuff. It's also the language that you use, you know? We chatted about Dr. Disrespect making, you know, over numerous casts, doing his, you know, Chinese voice impression and using it in a very, you know, not the fact that he's doing the impression, but using it with very derogatory meaning behind it, that sort of thing. That sort of stuff needs to stop. And I mean, who's going to argue that? But it really just kind of puts it in light who the people are that are dominating in the streaming scene, and it's people in their teens and in their early 20s who've just not got to that point maybe where they go, no, you know what, you're right, that's a really shitty way to be, right? And the fact that any, you know, Trev, your kid or my kid, any kid can access Twitch. It's not like there's an age gate behind any channel. I mean, if they started age gating channels and it's like, you can't watch this channel until you're 18 because this streamer, you know, throws her tits out everywhere, you know, then you have to monitor that. And like we talked about last time, I'm not going to go out there and say, you can't wear that because that's not my place. You know, I mean, I can see why some people might be, well, you're telling women what they can and cannot wear. I don't agree with that. I think that they should be able to wear whatever they want so long as the parameters are there to stop kids who shouldn't see it from seeing it. If they can figure that part out and it's like, you say, you know, age 14 up and she's got her, you know, the push-up bra and, you know, everything, you know, the business all out on display. Well, that's fine, man. That's your prerogative. Make that money, man. You do what you need to do. But consider the audience.
It's going to be tough for them to, like, whatever guidelines they put in, it's going to be tough for them to enforce because there is so many people on Twitch, and there's a lot of fucking assholes that stream. So, I mean, I think that's why it's taking some time for Twitch to roll out these guidelines, because they're probably looking at it from perspectives like, wow, okay, some of our most popular streamers are can be grade A assholes. So,
and you know what that probably boils down to, though, is universal enforcement of those rules, right? So if they're enforced, like whether you've got a channel, whether you've got 500 followers or 500,000 followers, right, or 1 million followers, that enforcement needs to be universal. And it's not like they're going to go and shut down Dr. Disrespect. Oh, you were racist, and we're going to shut you down. Are you kidding me? No. That guy's their fucking meal ticket. He is paying bills for them, right? They're not going to do that. So I imagine there's a lot of kind of going back to the drawing board where they go, well, how are we really going to do this and make sure that it's fair for everybody?
Yeah.
Right. And again, like I say, I mean, going back to the booby streamer thing, because that's kind of been a controversial topic. There's been a few people that have approached it in a very inappropriate manner where they're cutting down these women and these girls who are doing it. And I don't think that's right. Like I said, I mean, if you have the ability to go out there and make that money and you're confident in yourself, do it. Do it. I mean, I might be one of the first to watch. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm not going to deny that there's a place for that. It's just a matter of making sure that the people who access it should be accessing it. So once they iron all that out, maybe these rules will change. But right now the system is anybody accesses it. There's no age gate period. So they need to monitor. They have to.
That's exactly why they need to take care when they're rolling this stuff out, is because if they upset a large enough population in the community, that's going to open the door for some other site, some other streaming service to welcome the booby streamers with open arms. And if that, ends up being a quarter or a third of the people who watch Twitch, that's a big dent.
It's still a big part of their audience.
Yeah, I mean, they just got to be careful with how they do it.
Yeah, and I mean, I know Mixer's making waves. I mean, a lot of streamers are jumping on with Mixer. I think what you're seeing is like the guys who are not necessarily the top tier on Twitch are kind of viewing Mixer as their chance to maybe be a top dog over there. I mean, there's all sorts of sponsorship deals that go back and forth, I mean, Christ, I mean, these guys are going to make a living playing video games on camera. I don't blame them. I mean, if I had the skill, I'd do it too. I mean, it's definitely a shift in how video games are consumed. You know what I mean? We're players, but there's a lot of people now who are, not that they don't play, but watching other people play games is a big part of the younger generation. They love it. Mm-hmm. So there's we haven't hit that max capacity. I believe we actually chatted about that. Like, have we hit terminal velocity on this? I don't think we have. I think it's still got some growing to do, but it's probably, we're not too far away before we hit that max capacity.
Mm-hmm. What would you guys say if there was a way for you to learn how to be a super seducer?
Oh, hey, why not?
Would you want to take that opportunity in video game form?
Not just any seducer, a super seducer.
Look, guys, I mean, I don't want to get too cocky here, but like I totally betted.
He says wife. As he gets super cocky all of a sudden.
I'm just saying, like, I betted my wife on the second date. I mean, and my wife's not a hussy. I'm just that good.
I'd like to talk about what happened in my situation, but I would be in a lot of trouble.
Oh.
So
Karen, thank
I
God
will say
Karen
no comment.
I say, like, thank God that Karen's so lighthearted about this sort of stuff. Like, she's totally good with a joke. I mean, I know that a lot of my guy friends, like, they wouldn't dare crack a joke about their wife or girlfriend for fear of getting their asses handed to them. Karen's a really, really, really good sport, which is why she puts up with me.
I could probably say whatever I want because she's a downloader and not a listener. So she downloads, doesn't listen. So
does Karen. God bless her.
I could say anything. So what's the Super Seducer, Paul? Tell us about it.
Yeah, for those who haven't seen this, there is a highly successful pickup artist apparently, who has decided to make a video game, which is looks like an FMV game where you pick up chicks.
This is where you just lose all hope in humanity. It's one of those types of games where you just like,
I give up.
Fucking really?
Guys, I'm looking at the trailer or the thumbnail for the trailer, and in the bottom left corner it says, "I like big boobs. Try and touch her boobs."
You know, I can't tell you how many times, you know, that I've been faced with a large-breasted woman, where I've just sat there contemplating to myself while in a social situation whether or not I should just actively reach out and touch her boobs. You know, I'm so thankful that this game exists to teach me right and wrong.
Right.
Like, I mean, I haven't read it yet, but Tyler Treese, he's top honcho, or one of the top honchos over at PlayStation Lifestyle. He wrote for us before, or for COG. Keep using us, Trevor. It's gonna be a long time before I can crack myself of that habit.
I'll give you a few more months.
Yeah, and remind me, what's this us? But he interviewed the pickup artist. I mean, how someone actually has that as a career title, you know, like, what do you do? I'm a pickup artist. So you're a sleazebag? What is this? But he interviewed this guy, and while we're all making fun of this game, he walked away saying he seemed like a really, really nice guy. But then he followed that up immediately with, but wait, maybe I've been seduced. Like, dun, dun, dun.
He has been.
Yeah, because I just can't see how a game like this is
You've been
okay.
seduced.
I don't get it.
Oh.
I mean, what is it really teaching people? I mean, it's either basically kind of doing that lowest common denominator thing where it's going, hey, you're a guy who plays video games. That must mean you're a total loser who doesn't know how to talk to chicks. And like, so we're going to give you this game and you can use it as a tool. Like, fuck off.
Sean,
No.
I'm going to stop you right there because the number one key feature of this game, according to Steam, is Chick Magnet. Charm your way to getting those sweet digits like a pro.
Oh, and see, and the fact that it
Amazing.
takes itself that seriously, in a sense, is why I'm so glad that James absolutely took the piss out of it in his news article. Like, there was literally, like, he did not pull any punches, and he kind of, it's almost like, without calling it out directly, he just very stealthily, very slyly calls it out. So anybody who reads it goes, yeah, I can tell what this guy's opinion about this game is. With real human courting grounds such as coffee shop, bar, and even library, you'll know exactly what to say and do when the critical moment is upon you.
This thing comes out soon too. March 6th it comes out. I really feel like we need to get somebody to review this, like somebody to tell us what this is all about. There's just too much fun to be had here.
And it's
way too much fun.
And for me, it's like almost out of a sickness in that, like, you just want to know how bad it could possibly be, that I'm like, God, maybe I'm going to play this fucking thing. Like, because I want to see how bad it is.
Right. Like a train wreck. I can't keep my eyes off it.
I love this. Unlike on the actual planet, local law enforcement and military forces will never be summoned. Like, so, you know, if you go, I like big boobs, try and touch your boobs, you're not going to jail.
How do they get it so wrong when there are so many examples of dating sims and other games like that doing it right these days?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say dating sims doing it right so much, in that, like, this is like an attempt at trying to appeal to a real life human. You know, I mean, granted, I think everybody's probably going to approach it with very much a similar attitude as us, in that, like, they can't take it seriously despite being, you know, full motion video, it's, you know, with real actors and everything else. They're still not going to take it that level of serious. All the other dating games they're done animated, cartoony, over the top type situations where it's not meant
pigeons.
to be. Well, yeah, exactly. Was it Hateful Boyfriend, right? Yeah.
That's right.
There's
with the
Monster
pigeons.
Prom. There's Dream Daddy. You know, all these other things that are coming out that are all very tongue-in-cheek, and you can have fun with it. This, you just have to, like, I just don't know anybody with half a brain who's not going to approach it with a cynical eye and go, did they really need to make this?
Yeah,
mean,
that's
the guy
what I
calls
mean
himself a
by
pickup artist.
doing it right. You have to have some level of self-humor to play a game like this and be able to take it at face value and let it affect you however it affects you. I don't think Super Seducer is going to fall into that category.
No. I mean, again, like I say, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to look at it without that eye of, I can't believe they made it. It just, it's too over the top in a sense. And, you know, I mean, and again, I mean, I just don't know if it's the idea that they're just playing to like the base or like the lowest common denominator among us and go, there's guys out there who are really going to want to play this game. And I just can't see that.
Yeah.
I don't see that as an audience.
I feel like I should request this game and review it and then talk about it on the next episode. I think that would be some fun.
I think I back this up. I mean, if anything, I want you to be able to tell me the new techniques you use, you've learned. What you should really do is you play it and take notes the whole time. Take notes the whole time and try it out on your wife. And you can report back to us how often you got the nookie when trying these lines.
Pretty sure I'll be batting 0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or whether or not she just shuts the door and she's like, no, I'm not doing this, Trevor.
He might find it hard to explain his experience with his jaw swollen like that.
Well, I guess there's a big difference when, you know, with it being, none of us are dating, you know? So like, for example, Trevor, you're sitting across from Susie at dinner and you think to yourself, I like big boobs. Try and touch your boobs.
I should touch your boob.
You could totally get away with it. It's not the same thing. She's going to be like, what are you doing? You're like, well, I'm touching your boobs. KY. I mean, it might not have the desired effect, but you're not going to get KO'd either.
She'll be like, not now. God damn it. We're eating dinner.
Exactly. That's what I love about this, the thumbnail too, that you pointed out, right? Like as the guy in the foreground, all blurry out, is thinking, I like big boobs, try and touch her boobs. The face of the female on the receiving end of the probable boob touch is like, don't you dare touch my fucking boobs. Her face is just
ready
screaming,
to
don't touch me. I'll yell rape. What a stupid fucking game. Stupid.
So why don't we talk about some of the games that are coming out this week that people can play?
Sure.
Let's do it.
There aren't that many.
That came out this week, I guess, technically.
Yeah, are coming out this week.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes, have come out or are soon to come out.
Mm-hmm. Those games.
Yeah, those games. We've got Age of Empires Definitive Edition.
Definitively old. How old is that game?
21 years old, I think, when I looked it up last.
Jesus. So I mean, I'm not really an AoE fan. Did they beef it up? Like, is it remastered? Or, like, what about it? Like, why 21 years later do they think this needs to be a thing?
I think go ahead, Trev.
Yeah, sorry, go. From what I understand, it's like the original intact, but just basically a fresh coat of paint.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I know Alex is working on that one. He's playing the Xbox One version. So, yeah, he hasn't said too much about it. So I know he's probably not as excited about this one as he was Fee. But
Alex Thomas?
Yeah, so Alex Thomas is on this one. So, yeah, usually I hear from him about these games. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's like. I know nothing really about it at all.
Dead silence means it either it sucks or he's not doing his job. He hasn't even started the review.
That could be factually correct.
Or the review is going to hit the Dropbox with a 100 score on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Out of nowhere.
Alex Thomas's first 100. It's going to be Age of Empires Definitive Edition.
Hey, you never know.
That'll make it the 6th, I think the 5th or 6th 100 we've ever given a game.
Hey, COG doesn't hand those out all willy-nilly.
No, 6-7 years in existence, and yeah, we don't even have We're not even double digits for 100 scores.
No, I think it's basically kind of boils down to like last year was exceptional. It kind of
3.
upped it exactly because otherwise it was literally at like 0.75 games per year if you were to average it out or something ridiculous. But last year really threw it for a loop.
Those 100 games being Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey.
And Horizon Zero Dawn.
And Horizon Zero Dawn, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good year 2017, a good year.
It was.
We're looking back at it with nostalgia already.
Yep.
What else is out this week?
Well, there's the aforementioned Metal Gear Survive. And we've got Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 Plus.
Ooh. Plus. What does the plus include?
I don't know. It's typical Namco Bandai naming schemes, Trev.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now with more ghosts.
Yeah. More packing and more mans.
That sounded wrong.
Yeah.
They really pack it in.
They really packed in the mans in this one. It's just so much mans to go around.
Plus.
The releases just went off the rails.
Oh, God.
Well, let's bring it back with Them's Fightin' Herds.
Ooh, I love that.
I see what they tried to do there.
Yeah. From the quick video I watched, this is a bunch of horses and goats and stuff in a 2D sprite fighter.
That sounds amazing.
I'm sure it's going to be big numbers. This one, yeah.
Very specific target audience.
No, see, we're going to be the laughing stock, of the gaming world at the end of the year when it's up for all kinds of awards, and we're here making fun of it.
Yeah, best story,
just poo-pooed it.
Best That's character,
right. Best utters in a video game.
Most utters, certainly.
Yeah, maybe the only utters in a video game.
And the last one that caught my eye, Past Cure, which is a survival horror sort of FMV thing.
Yeah, it's from a smaller studio, that one. I remember, they were kind of trying to get preview eyes and stuff like that on it 8 months ago, I want to say, give or take. But, they've been working on it for a while, and they were confident enough in it, like say 6 to 8 months ago that, they were willing to let people put some eyes on it and have some things to say about it. And I always find that to be a kind of a positive way of looking at things. You got to be really confident in what you're throwing out there if you're allowing people access to it 6 months odd before you're actually ready to go out in the public. That's a lot of polish time that you still have. It looks good. Visually,
it really does.
It looks pretty solid. I'd be interested to, I haven't seen any sort of review or any sort of content from any other media on what they thought about it. But I don't know what it is about it, but I'm kind of rooting for them. Like, I hope this is a good game.
Yeah, I know Aaron's working on it right now, and I know it features stealth, telekinesis, and the character animations look pretty good, but it's piqued my curiosity. I think if the price is right and the review's solid, I might give it a go. Maybe.
Well, when it comes down to, people love to complain about value for their dollar in this day and age when it comes to gaming and stuff like that. And more than ever, you've got those $60, $70, $80, AAA experiences, but there's so much good indie development out there where they're saying, $5, as low as $5, but $10 to $20 for a game. And unless the game is dog shit, okay, I get it. But it just blows my mind hearing people complain about, $10. It's not worth $10. You see that all the time now, right? It's not worth 10 of my dollars to play this game or to support a developer on this game. And it just kind of blows my mind because I often wonder whether or not 99.9% of the gaming community really understands what it costs to develop a game these days.
No, I don't think so.
And come on, you spent $10 on lunch today.
And maybe that's why it seems just so friggin' wrong. We live in the Starbucks generation where they will not, I want a venti frickin' triple, God, whatever, stupid bullshit from Starbucks and pay $6 for a coffee
Yep.
that you're going to piss out in an hour. That's leaving your system in an hour. And all you have to show for it is you have to pee real bad and you gain 3 pounds. And yet you won't spend $10 on a video game without why it's not a 30-hour experience. And I feel like reaching through the screen to like forums and all these people who bitch and moan about what a game costs and be like, get off your fucking high horse. If you want games and you want to support or if you just want them to be there needs to be incentive for a developer to do it. These guys are trying to put food on their table.
I will agonize over like a $60, $70 game. Like I will be eternally tortured whether or not I should buy a game, but I'm dropping $100 in my truck almost every week to fill up that fucking thing. But man, I can't bring myself sometimes to put down all that money. And it's weird. Sure it is, but I sometimes understand that. Yeah, you don't think of some of these purchases you don't even think of. The Starbucks, like, yeah, I probably drop between the wife and I. You know, every 2 or 3 days we're going to Starbucks. Yeah, that's like $10, $15 each time. And it is, when you put it that way, it really is silly. Like that $10, $20 game should be a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you buy it?
Let's put it in a different perspective then, right? I mean, and I saw, I'm pretty sure it was a meme about this, I don't know, recently anyways. But it's like, considering our age, we're no strangers to arcades. We would go and we'd have $20, $30, $40 worth of fucking quarters in our pockets, and we would line up at machines and just quarter after quarter after quarter. And how often do you sit there and look on your phone and go, 99 cents for an app? Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
that's so true.
It is true. And it's just like, so it's really weird how the idea of digital content, how we don't really have respect for it when it comes to a dollar value. You know, you don't see the bodies behind it with the families, and, you know, they've got to keep the lights on and they want to eat something that's not fucking craft dinner every day. But oh no, I'm not putting out $10 for that game. It just, I don't know. I mean, that's an argument for another day, because I could go on and on and on about the value of what it takes for a developer. And that's why I really love seeing these indie games that turn into real success stories where people can go, they sit back, they've worked thousands of hours, and they actually got to make a living off of it, as opposed to just scraping by to do the next one, to just scrape by, etc., etc., etc.
I'm glad you brought that back from the brink, Sean. I was very, very close to telling you that you are sounding unbelievably old.
Oh, fuck you. I am old.
He's hurt. He's definitely hurt.
Well, let's move into the next section, which we like to call the Press X Perfect List. Now, if you didn't...
we had a perfect list.
We did have a perfect list.
We did.
We had one earlier this week.
List, Paul?
I don't know, Paul. You got to tell us.
Well, the files went away, and the perfect list thus went away.
Whose files went away, Paul?
Well, that would have been my files. That's 100% my fault.
Trevor and I were talking about this earlier, and he's like, if I did this, Sean, you would never let me live it down. We'd be talking about this for the next 3 weeks, months, 2 months.
That is factually correct.
And it's factually true. And he's like, he goes, but Paul's such a nice guy, we can't give him shit. And I'm like, no, that's not true. We can totally give him shit, but he's the only guy who knows how to edit, so we have to be nice.
My audio file wasn't available, and it was like DEFCON 5. Last week. Where's Trevor's audio? He's gone radio silent. Where is he?
And here we are on a Thursday night doing what we did on Monday.
It's Wednesday night, isn't it? Or am I getting my date?
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Oh God, I was hoping it was Thursday.
See, Sean's so relaxed with his new cushy gig that he doesn't even know what day it is. Like, he's lost all track of
No.
He used to count the days by the number of times he put on pants. Can't do that anymore.
I've made a promise to myself that I shower and put on real clothes every day. That's something I do, because I will feel like such a disgusting human being if I don't. And like listening to my coworkers, like we're doing all sorts of like video conferencing, like Google Hangouts and Skype and all that stuff. And like they'll all look so put together, and like they'll be like, I'm wearing a button up, like this Ryan, for example, he always has his button up shirts, and he does the like right up the collar, right up, like looking very prim, very proper, and he's like, I'm in my underpants. It's like, well, we can't see that part, can we? You look very professional.
That's hilarious.
But me, yeah, no, I got to get dressed and kind of go about my day. But there's different stresses that come around with this one. I've still got so much to learn. But yeah, no, the stresses are very, very different, but they're no longer bus driver stresses. So, that's good. I'll take it.
So for those who missed this in episode 6 or haven't listened to episode 6 yet, go back and do it. We do this thing called the Press X Perfect List, in which I come up with a category that no one else knows about, and we just go around the circle until we come up with the specified number of whatever I come up with. So the first week, we came up with the definitive 10 best SNES RPGs ever made. And earlier this week, we came up with the 10 best games ever released in February. But because you didn't get to hear that, we're just going to have to do this again with a different category. So screw you guys. I'm not just going to read out the list that we lost, basically.
We're not? We're going to like leave them hanging?
But we worked so hard on that list.
Well, I'll read out the list, but just so you know, we have to make a new list. So the 10 best games ever released in February were Horizon Zero Dawn, The Shadow of the Colossus Remake, Super Mario Bros. 3, Jade Empire, Bulletstorm, Final Fantasy IX, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, Street Fighter IV, Firewatch, and Star Fox.
It's a respectable list.
One hell of a list.
Yeah,
I mean,
it turned out
I think
pretty
without
good.
Context, there's a lot of arguing that might happen there from listeners, but whatever. That's our list, and it's definitive.
It is definitive.
Perfect list.
It is a perfect list.
So now that we already were stressed out and had to do this list once, Paul.
Oh no, we're not doing the same. We're not doing the same topic. It's a new topic.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. So what are you going to throw in our lap this time?
Well,
I'm already sweating bullets over here.
You should be, because since this is essentially take 2 of this podcast, we're going to come up with the 10 best games with a 2 in the title.
Ah, fuck off.
Now, is that like the number 2 or TOO or TWO or like, what do you mean?
Well, when I typed it out, it was the number 2, but since this is an audio podcast, I think any of the above is acceptable.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to start us off because I'm the host and I do what I want.
Can't argue with that.
So fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Later, bitches.
I want to get my 4 picks in here. I'm going to start us off with, because I'm playing, it's, I guess it's great granddaughter, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty.
Ooh, that's a pretty solid game, Paul. Pretty solid.
I like to think so.
I'm not going to argue, mostly because you're the host, so you get to do what you want.
That's true. I do what I want. Yep. Trev, why don't you go next?
Now, so obviously we can pick sequels.
Totally.
Well, they have to be a sequel that includes 2 in the title. There's lots of sequels where they don't actually throw 2 in.
Well, I'm not going to pick a sequel. Like, forget it. I'm not going to. I'm going to go with Army of 2.
God. Boo.
For real?
It's
really,
it's so bad it's good, right?
Like
those hockey masks are badass.
Well,
and the fist pumps and like the piggyback rides and helping the bros
piggyback
out.
rides. I remember, wasn't it like one of the big things in the game was being able to unlock like the cool paint jobs and stuff for the masks?
Yes.
I like that one of the things that sticks out in your memory is the piggybacks.
The thing is with that game, I mean, I guess I'll give credit where credit's due, because I played that game and I saw what it was trying to do. There are more games. I mean, we've got A Way Out, for example, coming out in March. Joseph Fares, fuck the Oscars guy. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
From the Game Awards? Yeah. Fuck the Oscars. There's a lot of games now that are coming out that are fully developed co-op type experiences. With that one, you were able to play it solo and have the co-op character be AI, and it just didn't really work as advertised. And I mean, and I get it because it's a complicated setup, but it was kind of ushering in that idea of playing games together, like a true co-op. Like, we need to work together. It was really over the top. I mean, some of the dialogue in that was fun. I mean, I just remember, like, in all the lead up to it, the trailers, it definitely sold itself. It seemed really interesting. So, like, I totally dug on playing it. But I don't know.
All right, Sean, hit me. What do you got? Quit stalling.
Well, I'm going to go with one of my favorite games of all time because it's just one of the easiest choices ever. And that's Assassin's Creed 2.
It's a good pick.
As Assassin's Creed goes, I mean, it's pretty much considered one of the best in the series. I mean, some people will argue Brotherhood, Black Flag was really good, but I felt like Assassin's Creed 2 is when Assassin's Creed came into its own. And, I collected every fucking feather in that game and spent far, far, far too many hours. But Ezio Auditore is my homeboy, and AC2 gets my nod.
It's only slightly better than Army of Two. Only slightly better.
Oh, how high are you right now?
Well, it is Wednesday.
We're well into the cups.
How deep are you into the cups? They're not like they're not the same sport. They're not in the same ballpark. Like, it's just completely no. Anyway, I'm moving on.
Right.
All right. Well, I'm going to pick one that arguably it should be at the top of this list as one of the greatest games ever made. That's Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
Got my vote.
Yeah, that's another really good pick.
Yeah, you got my vote on that one. That's a great game.
I mean, Mass Effect 1 was so good because of the story, but Mass Effect 2 fixed the combat, which was the only thing that was really wrong. So,
well, it fixed the combat, but then I also found I became way more attached to the characters in 2, and I also finally felt the impact of what it meant, especially like in a BioWare game or any game, of your choices matter. Like, I was so angry, like, in my playthrough that I lost Rex. Rex died in my playthrough, and I was just like, fuck me. Like, I was so upset. And hearing friends of mine playing through in 2 with Rex, and I was, like, physically angry about it. But, again, it was just like, it was where we learned that games could be more than just this experience from A to B. There could be impact. There could be decisions that you need to make that will change the game for you, and then your playthrough is unique in comparison to somebody else's. Everything about that game, I mean, that's Mass Effect 2 is BioWare at its finest, to me.
All right, enough tomfoolery. Enough horsing around. Enough tomfoolery. I'm gonna really lock in a good pick here. I'm gonna go with Uncharted 2.
Not many people are gonna argue.
No, it's
as games with the 2 go.
As games with a 2 go, that one's right up there.
Yep.
What was the subtitle on that? Among Thieves?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good one.
He's ticky-tickying right now.
Mostly because I like Sully. Sully's so good.
Sully is good.
Who doesn't love Sully?
He puts up with Nate's shit and no one knows why.
Actually, you know what the funny, like, what I love about that series altogether, I was like a real late comer to the series. I didn't pick up even the first Uncharted until probably, like, I don't know, like a good, like, I'd say maybe 8 or 9 months before, like, the collected Uncharted came out. I was like, finally, like, I really need to jump onto this series. And it just, everything about it was so good that I went from front to back and I went fast because the characters are all done so well.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it that does, who does Drake?
Nolan North.
Nolan North. Yeah, it's Nolan North that does it.
Northie.
Yeah, it's Northie. Exactly. The Northie, the Nolan Northie Award. He's just so friggin' good. I mean, I tell you the one thing that I really wish that they would get their shit figured out is who's going to fucking play him in a movie and make the goddamn movie. I need to see it.
How is it not Nathan Fillion?
Well, that's who it should be, and I'm with you. But I've seen like odd picks. Like at one point, were they not looking at Tom Holland as a young Nathan Drake? I'm pretty sure. This is me doing the
last I heard it was Tom Holland, but that's going back to like last summer.
Yeah, Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
I'm just glad it's not Mark Wahlberg.
May of 2017. Dirk Diggler is Nathan Drake.
It was supposed to be Mark Wahlberg. It was.
It was for a while, yeah.
That got axed.
Nate Drake sure is packing heat below the belt.
All right, enough of that. Sean, give us a pick.
Fuck. I feel very much on the spot here. Games with... Fuck your rules.
Oh, fuck.
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
There's no 2 in there.
Sure there is. Shut up. Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's a sequel, and I get to say the word "two" in it, and it's a good game.
Okay, I can endorse that.
I'm so conflicted.
I can get behind that.
But you thought it was
this
pretty
is me
funny,
totally
so...
bending your rules. This is me bending your rules to like max capacity, but it's not like it's even like a game that isn't a 2. It is a 2. Technically, it is a 2. It's a sequel, and it's fucking good. It's a good game. It's beautiful.
Oh, this is killing me. Okay, I'll let it go.
You're gonna let this go. I knew it.
I do really like this game, so we're gonna let it be.
You hate me for saying it, but you know I'm right.
I'm not gonna say you're right. I'm gonna say I'm gonna let it slide.
I'll take it. Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Everything goes back to your love of Camilla, doesn't it?
Oh God, it's not Camilla. It's just her voice. I would pay her to sing me lullabies. Sounds creepy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
That sounds pretty creepy.
Yeah. All right, and moving right along after that awkward interlude. Thanks, Sean.
You're welcome.
I'm going to go with a classic 2. A really classic 2. Probably a controversial 2. And that's Super Mario Brothers 2.
Grumble, 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 grumble.
What's the matter with Super Mario Bros. 2?
There's nothing the matter with it. I know a lot of people like to hate on it. I think it's a good game, but best games with 2 in the title?
Oh, come on.
To take something away from our homeboys at I Beat It First, you are wrong because reasons. Just because reasons.
I don't think you can actually say that, since this list is perfect and definitive in every way.
Oh, I forgot. It's every time. That's my bad. You know what? Never mind me. That was the best choice.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Trev, what you got?
I'm going to go with Halo 2. Only because I remember I really enjoyed Halo 2 quite a bit more than the original. I played the shit out of it online. I just loved it. It was fantastic. So I'm going with Halo 2.
All right.
I'm thinking
Definitely
an
an
improvement
in my head on the original Halo, I would say.
Again, another game slightly better than Army of Two.
But just by a sliver.
By a hair. The thinnest of margins.
Yeah. I'm feeling like we're getting to the point that like there's just so many games now that like now that I'm really thinking about it, sequels and stuff that are like amazing games that we're missing.
Oh shit, yeah, we're missing it.
Oh my goodness. Whose turn is it?
It's yours, Sean.
Okay, so this is purely to make sure that we avoid an onslaught, a mountain of angry emails. I mean, I like this game for sure, and it definitely deserves to be in the list. Half-Life 2.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason people are not laying off of Valve. You know, when's the next Half-Life coming? The answer is never.
God.
The answer is never. but it's because Half-Life 2 is so good. It was so ahead of its time.
You know, I don't really like playing Half-Life 2 that much. Obviously, it was completely revolutionary, and it changed first-person shooters, it changed physics, it changed all these things in gaming. I just don't like the game that much.
I think that's probably an age thing in a sense. I mean, because even now, like, respecting where games came from, when I go back to play it, like, because it was, what is it? They that was part of the orange box. Was it not? Half-Life 2 was in the orange box, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember going back and playing it, and again, it's a respect for where games come from. You know, I'm with you in that. Like, now that, you know, we've advanced so much, I respect where it came from, but I wouldn't. It wouldn't be my first choice. I'm like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to play it and I'm going to love it, because our expectations have changed. It's just a matter of having a healthy respect for where games came from. Mm-hmm. And it was a pioneer for its time, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yep. Yes, games have come a long way since 2004. So,
mm-hmm.
And a lot of that way has been come because of Half-Life 2. So
exactly. So respect where respect is due.
That's a perfect choice, Sean. Absolutely perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Better than Rise of the Tomb Raider.
As far as picks go, yes. As far as games go, I'd much rather play Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I hear the two there, so that works.
Yeah.
That works.
Yep.
It's our Canadian accents.
That's right. A boot. We don't fucking say that. I hate it when people say, do you guys say a boot? No, fuck you. We don't say a boot. About.
Where are we at? How many?
I believe Paul gets to make like the final choice because
I do.
He's the host.
Are we on number
remember?
10? We're on number 10. All right.
I do. I'm thinking I might slightly democratize this because I've got two and I can't. I've got two, and it's tough. It's tight. It's really tight. So
toy like a tiger.
Like a toiger. I think it's a toss up between Mega Man 2 and Portal 2.
Oh, you dick.
Yeah.
That's okay, Portal 2 is fucking fantastic. I mean, just the mechanics behind the Portal series in general is really, really, really friggin' cool.
It's also maybe the funniest game ever written.
It is really funny. You're right. It's super, super funny. But, I mean...
Mega Man.
Wow.
Mega Man 2 has Woodman in it.
Yeah, Mega Man 2 has Woodman. It also has Metal Man is in, and fuck. Wow, I'm trying to remember my robot masters. This is
Bubble Man.
This is tough.
Flash Man.
Bubble Man. Yeah. Ah, Christ. Airman, was there the Airman was in Mega Man
there
2.
was an Airman.
And for me, Mega Man 3 was kind of like the epitome for me when we're talking like the NES era.
What do you think, Trev?
That's a tough one. But I'm impartial to Mega Man. I'm a Mega Man guy, so my vote would be on Mega Man.
And see, this is where I'm going to split the vote, because I like Mega Man 2. I love Mega Man 3. Portal 2 is awesome. Portal 2 is kind of one of those ones that stands the test of time for me.
So there you go. We didn't help you at all, Paul.
No, yeah. I think you did.
We are the worst partners.
I think you did because I had that 30 seconds to think about it. And I think it's got to be Portal 2.
You can't go wrong.
You can't really argue that one. It's just so good.
So there you go. That's the 10 best games with a 2 in the title. Assassin's Creed 2, Half-Life 2, Mass Effect 2, Portal 2, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Uncharted 2, Super Mario Bros. 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, Halo 2, and of course, the best game with a 2 in the title, Army of 2.
Boom.
We're going to get emails about that, Trev.
Yeah.
Dear God.
They're going to be addressed to Trevor.
Listen,
They're going to be
Yeah,
addressed to Trevor directly. I'm cool with that.
I got nervous. I had to pick something.
That brings up a very, very good point, actually, and that's that we have a Facebook community.
We do. That's right. Well, we were trying to get our shit together, and I feel like it's a little bit confusing because we have a page and we have a group. But really what we want to do is we want to get people on the Press X to Podcast Facebook group. That's going to be basically where people can talk amongst themselves. Other listeners can chat to each other, you know, talking about the show, talking about memes, talking about games, just kind of encouraging a community. But it's also where it's going to be the easiest spot for them to be able to corner all three of us, ask us questions, maybe give us ideas for the podcast every week, that sort of thing. We basically want to be able to interact with everybody just a little bit more. And I mean, emails are great, but a Facebook group where we can kind of get really hands-on and have listeners who are enjoying this content be able to chat with us directly. It's fantastic. I think it's actually pretty cool. So hopefully a few of you jump on there. So yeah, keep an eye out for it. It's live now. It's Press X to Podcast Facebook group. Join on there. We'll approve you pretty much ASAP as long as you're not an asshole.
That's our only rule. Don't be an asshole.
Don't be a dick.
Sean's the only asshole that's allowed in the group.
Well, I'm king asshole.
Yeah.
King motherfucker.
King motherfucker. Best segue ever.
So I'll drop that link in the massive links in the description for the podcast, alongside, I don't know, a bunch of other stuff that you'll find interesting. And the other way to get in touch with us is via email. We have an email. It's pressxpodcast@gmail.com. That's pressxpodcast@gmail.com.
And we haven't forgot about you, Crazy Jerry. We're going to answer your email next week.
Yeah, we read the question and went, shit, we need to dedicate an entire section to this. So look forward to that in episode 8.
And I'm not emotionally stable enough to talk about what Jerry wants us to talk about.
No, to be honest, I think, and this is going to encourage people to listen next week. And John, or Crazy Jerry Mouse, I think it's a really good question, and I think there's more to it than just a simple answer. Like, we can actually devote a good stretch of time because games are more impactful than ever these days. So I really want to give this question kind of the respect it deserves.
Hells to the yeah.
That is a fantastic tease, Sean.
It's me. I'm all about, no, I'm not all about it. I was going to make an allusion to just the tip, but I'm not all about that at all. I hate it when that happens.
Oh, God, where do we go
Nobody
from
likes
here?
playing just the tip.
And with that, we're going to get the hell out of here so that we can get you this podcast on a sunny, I hope, Thursday morning.
Well, it's snowing right now, so hopefully it clears up.
Shit!
Yeah, it's snowing where I live.
Well, anyways, thanks all for listening. If you want to get in touch with us, you can send us an email or you can get on the Facebook group. And if you liked what you heard, please share it with everybody you know. Give us a like, give us a review on iTunes or Google Play or wherever you listen to your podcasts. We'd love to get this out to more people so that we can interact with you fine folks even more than we do already.
Well said, sir.
Yeah. You guys have anything you want to say before we sign off?
No, peace out, everyone.
Yeah, no, I'm finished.
All right. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's the best sign-off ever.